Good morning, everybody. It's nice to be back in the world's greatest city, and I really thank John and the IBI for the invitation this morning. I'm the chief executive of a consultancy company called Oxis Media, and I thought I'd take the opportunity today to talk about how it is from a consultant's perspective and also how it is from a radio station owner's perspective. And I think a lot of the points that I've heard over the last session this morning, and particularly last night at the IMRO dinner, about where this industry is heading. And I sort of liken it to the fact that as a business owner that operates 2 radio stations in Oxford in the UK, that do I want to be in the traditional radio station business, or do I want to be in the digital audio content entertainment business? And today you're going to hear a lot of things being talked about. Distribution, and the other word that starts with a D is disruption. And as we go through this morning's presentation, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how we have taken a view that being in the digital audio content entertainment business is where the future is. A couple of universal truths is that consumers follow content and advertisers follow consumers. One of the things that I think everybody is scratching their heads about at the moment is how do we, as a radio station owner or operator, make money from the digital space? In fact, social media has been talked about at virtually every single session that I have attended over the last 12 months at any conference around the world, and people are still scratching their heads about how do you actually make money from this space. I'm going to sort of tell you a little bit about how we do that in our business in Oxford in a little bit shortly. I've got a presentation for you. But one of the things that we take a view of is that social media is actually an extension of the brand and is actually another transmitter for your radio station. When Lisa asked me to come and talk this morning, I started to think about when I started in radio. And believe it or not, I started in radio in 1983, which really means that this year I'm in my 30th year of working in an amazing industry and have seen a lot of change. I was looking for my cassette player the other day to find some old air checks of what I used to do back in 1983. And I went online, and it was really, really hard to find anywhere that sold a cassette machine to play my cassette tapes, to listen to my programs from my radio station in Sydney. Things have evolved so much over the last 30 years. I've had the privilege of working in many different countries. I started my career in Australia. I ended up working in Vienna, Austria for many, many years. I started working with UTV here in Ireland at a radio station called Light FM, which we blew up and relaunched as Q102. And then I went back to the UK and have started to work with a radio brand, which for me, in my entire career, I've never had so much fun. And I'd like to share this presentation with you this morning.
Right, we've been here since 6. Where have you guys been?
We are currently running Two Strangers in a Wedding, where we put 2 people together to see if we can play Cupid.
The wax is on there. We want to go really close. We want to hear those follicles being ripped from the skin. This is worth the money. 01865 318 700, because I reckon a boyzillion could be up for you, Trey. Here we go. Right down in. Oh!
We are flying over Afghanistan. A few thousand feet below us is a war zone, and we're in a dark plane.
It's not like we can even play I Spy or anything.
No, but very little we can do right now.
15 minutes gone in this game. 01865 575 106. Sex. Sorry, just a Freudian slip there.
I remember a number of interviews I've done with you, most of which I thought afterwards, why on earth did I agree to do that?
Back in 2007, I was kind of looking forward to being the voice of JackFM in the UK, but then
I got the job instead, so we didn't need any American assistance.
Yeah, but you needed us in 1939.
Yes, but you didn't arrive until 1942.
Oh yeah? Well, you needed us in Iraq.
Yes, it's Iraq, actually.
Oh, please. You think you're so superior, don't you?
No, we don't think that. We know we are.
So there we go. That's 106 JackFM in Oxford. UK commercial radio station of the year in both 2011 and 2012. And this year, we've just been nominated as Sony UK radio station of the year, the only commercial radio station in the category against 2 BBC radio stations. And believe it or not, we only operate with 1 live show per day. So how do we do that? Well, I'm going to tell you. It's all about this. This is a trend which talks about online, how many people spend how much time online, and our friends at Triton Digital who are using webcast metrics. And this is where we have decided that we want to be in this particular business. I want to talk about clients and the fear that some clients have about how they use their traditional radio station and how they integrate social media into their traditional advertising spends. We like social media to a warehouse, which has YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Flickr, LinkedIn. And what we decided to do a year and a half ago to really, really concentrate on the digital space was to actually educate the county of Oxfordshire on what social media was, because we believed that as a radio station brand, we couldn't get advertisers excited about social media unless they actually understood it. So we held a digital seminar, and in fact, this became the biggest attended event in Oxford in over 60 years. There were 211 different businesses over 2 sessions, and we started to explain to the business community how social media could really, really work with traditional advertising. Now, my business in Oxford, 19% of my total revenues come from the online space. Now, 19%, and that's growing. I want that number to get to about 25%. We have transactional business, which basically is the deep-seated consumer relationships we have with people that interact with our brand. We use the data from having 17,000 credit card details of our listeners on file, and we actually plot and trend the buying habits of those people that interact with our brand. So we make it very much easier for our sales team to go where the listeners are telling us they need to go and want to buy. So I know that James is going to take us through the multi-platform presentation. But when I had a look at some of this data coming out of Ireland from last year, Irish online revenue growth of 12.3% is growing when the total industry spend is down 6.2% year on year. So the key growth drivers really is the online audio space. And when you have a look at the amount of time that people are spending on mobile devices or on the internet, that's where the real game is at the moment. 19% of all revenues in the digital online space. We believe that we're projecting that out to about 25% over the next 2 years. And it's all about understanding your own audience. And I know that James is going to spend a bit of time talking about geo-targeting listeners, using in-stream advertising as a way to connect with your audience. And this is the new challenge facing the industry. But I don't want to be a company like Kodak that never kept up with the times and went out of business. I don't want to be the developer at Sony in Japan who thought, gee, I should have invented the iPod after having the Walkman throughout the 1980s. But certainly for us as a business and a radio station operator, it's all about how you monetize the digital space. Thank you very much, and I believe James is next.
Yeah. Thanks very much. Thanks very much, Ian.